Hello, everybody. Welcome to Bird Notice. Billy here. Leading off, Dylan Beavers is called up, Greg Allen is DFA'd, and Colton Cowser returns. But Ryan, what episode number is this?
This is episode 90, which has not been worn by any Oriole according to Baseball Reference. Rather than make somebody up, I thought I'd talk a little about the 1990 Orioles. The team went 76 and 85 in Frank Robinson's second season as manager. The top pitcher in terms of WAR was current color analyst Ben McDonald at 3.3, while Cal Ripken had 7.5 WAR, which was a whole 3.3 WAR ahead of Randy Milligan in second place amongst position players. Ripken led the team in home runs and RBI with 21 and 84 respectively, while Pete Harnish led the team in starts with 31. Dave Johnson had the most wins with 13, and closer Greg Olson had 37 saves, while noted bad person Curt Schilling got his most major league work to that point with 3 saves in 35 appearances out of the bullpen.
Yeah, I was thinking after David Raymundo last week, that'd be fun to do a David Raymundo jersey giveaway.
I don't even know how you would spell it.
I was thinking Raimondo.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Ron Kittle was on this team.
I believe Mickey Tettleton.
5 games from George Bell's brother, Juan Bell. His literal brother. Didn't just make that up.
I think I've mentioned on here before that I used to love Mike Devereaux. He was on that team.
Oh, yeah, he was a big deal. I got his autograph at a Shorebirds game.
Oh, nice.
I bought a ball with the team logo on it, and then our seats were right by the third base line, and he was over there signing autographs for the game, so I just shoved the ball in his face.
Just don't say anything, just shove it in his face.
Yeah, like, sign this. Ooh, Brad Cominsk was on this team. He's from Lima, Ohio.
Ooh, you've brought him up. You know who had the worst WAR amongst position players was David Segui. That's interesting because he was pretty solid for a while. He must have been really young then. Yeah, that was his first season.
Yeah, he had a nice long career.
Yeah, 23 to 37.
15 years, 10 WAR over his career.
Yeah, I liked him.
Leo Gomez, he was supposed to be something, wasn't he? And then didn't pan out.
He was what, shortstop?
Third base.
Okay.
Yeah, they gave him 118 games in 1991 and 137 games in 92.
Yeah, so this was the last season before the Finley Schilling trade to Houston. Man, imagine the 90s Orioles if they had those two guys.
Yeah, Schilling, what? So he was like 3 years away from his breakout with the Phillies. So I think he started showing signs of life in 92, and then 93 was when the Phillies made that World Series run.
Yeah, he wasn't a full-time starter until 93 even. But yeah, 92 he had looks like 26 starts, but he appeared in 16 other games.
Craig Worthington, 133 games at third base. So they were trying to decide who was going to be the third baseman, probably between Craig Worthington, Leo Gomez, even Juan Bell to some extent. He was a prospect who flamed out.
Tim Hewlett played third. I remember him.
New Orioles Hall of Famer Joe Ursulak, 124 games.
Sam Horn was an Oriole in 1990.
Yeah, I was going to say he's probably the last notable on here. Billy Ripken should get a mention too.
Yeah, that might have been Billy Ripken's best season. 4.1 WAR that year. That's good.
Yeah, that was his second career high in games. He never played that many games after that again.
Yeah, and that was his most WAR by 2.7. So that was by far his best year.
Man, just looking at his numbers compared to Cal's is very funny. Like, you wouldn't think they were brothers. You know what I mean?
I mean, most brothers are not equally good. I think that's pretty rare.
Is he the older brother?
I don't know. I think Billy's younger. Let's see.
Yeah, he's 4 years
Yeah,
younger.
yeah, he is.
Sometimes the younger brother gets better because they have to.
Right, they grew up playing against the older one.
Right. So they get like, sharper.
Yeah, they're like, I was 8 years old playing with a bunch of 12-year-olds every day.
Right. Yeah, that didn't work out for Billy. He has a better media career than Cal, though.
Yeah, I mean that's his thing. He's always been pretty outgoing and good at talking, at least.
Yeah. So yeah, we can just dive right into these recaps. We just recorded 3 or 4 days ago, and yeah, there's not much to talk about. A couple call ups that'll be fun to watch for the rest of the season, but we'll get to those on those days, I guess. So we got game 119, M's versus O's. Monday was an off day, so this was Tuesday, August 12th. George Kirby versus Dean Kramer.
Top of the first, Seattle gets on the board. Randy Arozarena led off with a single and stole second. He scored on a single by trade acquisition Josh Naylor, and it was 1-0. And I don't know how much more we need to say.
Right. Yeah, we go to the bottom of the ninth, still 1-0, and then there was a missed opportunity for the Orioles. Adley and Gunnar would each reach with 2 outs. Mountcastle got a hold of one, but it would go foul. And Munoz converted his 28th save for the Mariners' 8th straight victory, 1-0.
Yep, the O's had 5 hits in this game, 1 double by Gunnar Henderson, and 4 singles. 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position. Just an inept offense. I mean, Kirby's a good pitcher, but they did nothing.
No, yeah, just a wasted effort from Kramer. The Orioles were shut out for the 13th time this season. In 2018, they were shut out 15 times. 2018, the year they won 47 games that got everybody fired.
Right.
Yeah, so I gave out 3 stars real quick. Co-third stars to Daniel Johnson and Rico Garcia. They became the 59th and 60th players used this season. That is 2 shy of the franchise record set during Elias's original rebuild in 2021.
Not good.
Not good. The second star, Timo Ryan O'Hearn, or Ryan Noda. He made a nice catch at the wall in the 8th inning to keep the Mariners from pulling away. I'm not sure there's anybody who has any expectations for Ryan Noda. So when he makes a catch or, ties his shoes, you're like, hey, look at that.
Yeah. If he doesn't fall over, I'm impressed.
Yeah, he's back in Norfolk. He caught an option this week. And then Dean Kramer, this was his 3rd longest start in 3 years. No help from the bats. 8 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk, 101 pitches, 67 strikes, and 21 to 27 first pitch strikes.
He's in one of those Dean Kramer grooves right now. I'm waiting for it to end, but when he's on, he's on.
I'm on record on Blue Sky as saying he'll be a big part of, I guess, if the Orioles ever win anything. I think he'll be a big part of that. Maybe, hopefully, as like the 5th starter, but yeah, they need a guy like Dean Kramer. He does shit like this. He gets hot. Like, he could win a playoff series for you, I think.
What's his contract status? Like, I know he's around next year, but how far beyond that?
Yeah, hopefully he has.
Because what I want to say is he'll be part of winning something for another team because they'll probably trade him.
Yeah, he is. Is he 30 yet? He's 29. He turns 30 in January. Contract status signed through 2025. ARB eligible 2026. Free agent 2028.
Oh, so they got him for a while. 3 more years.
Yeah. Well, I think that means
pre-28. Okay, so yeah, 2 years.
Yeah, not through 2028. His middle name is Junior. He's Dean Junior Kramer.
Have we not realized that yet? That's funny.
That is funny. I like that.
It's like instead of naming him Dean Kramer Jr., they just made him Dean Junior Kramer.
Yeah, is his dad Dean Kramer?
I don't know.
I have to know this now. How do you find this out?
I'm Googling Dean Kramer parents. The Google AI says his parents are Addie and Siegel Kramer.
Hmm.
They're Israeli, and after they completed their service in the IDF, they came together to the United States. His father played college tennis at the University of the Pacific, which he attended on a tennis scholarship.
So his parents' names make Junior even a little bit more odd.
Right. Maybe that was like the nickname of his dad or something. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
Or they lost a bet. Could be something weird like that.
Maybe they were really big fans of the movie Problem Child and they named him after Junior Healy.
Wasn't there a movie called Junior with Arnold and Danny DeVito?
Yeah, good one. Yeah. Maybe they loved Junior, the movie.
Yeah, Dean Kramer was born in '96, so like that movie had been out for several years by then.
Hey, this has legs.
Were you named after a pregnant Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Oh, we got to ask him. This is the times I wish we had like real respect in the Baltimore Orioles community. Every once in a while, this bites us being off the beaten path so far.
We'll never know the answers to the real questions that way.
Well, maybe we could get Jacob Calvin Meyer in another AMA to ask him.
Yeah, there you go.
Wednesday, August 13th. This was Logan Gilbert versus Trevor Rogers. I listened to this game on the radio the following day, which was a good way to do it because it was an hour and 40-minute rain delay.
Yeah, they had some issues with weather this series.
And scoring runs, both teams, because
Right.
we had another pitcher's duel here. Logan Gilbert entered the game with a 197 batting average against. The radio broadcast was talking about how the Mariners built their pitching staff through the draft. And I was like, how about that?
Imagine that.
Someone should tell the Orioles about this.
So there was no scoring until the top of the seventh. Julio Rodriguez led off the inning with a triple off Trevor Rogers. With one out, he scored on Josh Naylor's single. Rogers was able to get the next two batters, and it was 1-0 after the top of the seventh.
Yeah, the lead wouldn't last long because Mountcastle's first pitch swinging in the seventh. He hits a line drive home run. Then Mayo singles after a Timu Ryan O'Hearn strikeout. Dan Wilson removes Logan Gilbert after only 70 pitches, which was surprising until you realize that Gilbert only threw 39 strikes and 2 wild pitches. So he was having some control issues despite holding the Orioles scoreless until the seventh.
Right.
Jeremiah Jackson ruined this plan to go to the bullpen with a Little League home run. It was officially a triple, but he scored on a Josh Naylor throwing error. Mayo came in as well. The Orioles have a 3-1 lead. They had gone 16 innings at this point without scoring a run.
Fun. Dietrich Enns got out of the eighth, and the top of the ninth, Yunier Cano was on the mound. Did not do as well as Dietrich Enns. Julio Rodriguez singled to lead off the inning. Eugenio Suarez walked. Josh Naylor grounded out that scored Rodriguez. It was 3-2. Next up was Dominic Canzone against the new pitcher Keegan Aiken. He hit a fly ball for a sac fly to score Suarez, and suddenly it was tied.
And Dylan Carlson showed some signs of life with a 2-out single in the bottom of the ninth. Then we get our first walk-off of the season. Jackson Holliday would rope a game-winning RBI double.
Part of me hoped that they weren't going to have a walk-off win all year, just to put an exclamation on how shitty the season has been.
Yeah, I understand that. This was a lot of fun to listen to, even though I didn't know anything about the game. All I knew was walk-off. And so when Holliday hit the double, I got excited because I didn't know, who hit it. But yeah, I kind of wanted that weird no walk-off thing to go the whole season, because that would have been a defining thing you could point to at the end of the year as what went wrong. Well, there was no walk-offs. You can't win if any games. Like you should, there's no clutch factor if you're not winning by a walk-off at any point in the season.
Right. Like if you're at home and you're not winning going into the ninth inning, you lost every game. That's kind of crazy.
And walk-offs carry over, I think. Or they
Can't
can.
hurt for momentum.
Right. 3 stars. Trevor Rogers, another gem. He's now gone at least 6 innings with 2 runs or less and 7 starts.
Just crazy.
Jeremiah Jackson for the Little League home run. It was initially misplayed by Canzone in right field, and then Naylor threw it away. So Jackson had a lot of help with this one. And Jackson Holiday for the game-winning hit. First walk-off win since September 19th, 2024.
I'm happy they finally pulled it off. I just wish it mattered more.
And then I gave an honorable mention star to Buck Britton. Anthony Sanders was supposed to be mic'd up, but he bailed on the content team. I guess when they went to mic him up, he just disappeared. So Buck Britton had to step in and be mic'd up, provide the mass and audience with some content.
Right.
Not sure
Maybe
how
that was
exciting it
Sanders'
is.
plan all along. He's like, I know I'm not going to do this, but I'm going to get somebody else to do it for me.
Yeah, because Buck went up to him and was like, "You owe me one," or something like that. And Anthony Sanders seemed like he had no remorse bailing on the content team.
Right.
Like it was premeditated. So, yeah, we'll see if that walk-off carried over to Thursday. Logan Evans versus Suganu.
I had never heard of Logan Evans before. Had you?
I thought I had heard of him until I looked him up. You know what I mean? Like I think I combined him with Logan Gilbert and probably some other guy. Yeah. Because I was surprised to see he only had like 15 career starts.
Right. Yeah, no clue who this dude is, but he did pretty well.
Yeah, bottom 4th, Westberg would draw a leadoff walk. He'd go to 3rd on a Mountcastle single, and he'd come in to score when Evans uncorks a wild pitch. Daniel Johnson walks, and we have a double steal. Mountcastle scores. Johnson steals 2nd. Jeremiah Jackson would single on Daniel Johnson, so there's 3 runs on 2 hits and an error.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I read after this that this was Mountcastle's 2nd stolen base of the year, and they were both steals of home, technically.
Yeah, I do remember him stealing home at some point in the last.
Both of them are on throws to another base, and then he takes off. He's not just straight up running on a pitcher because he's not that fast, but it's an interesting stat, especially for a first baseman.
Yeah, he's not Willie Mays hazing it.
Right.
So then we get Carlos Vargas in the 5th inning. He would walk Holiday. He'd hit Westberg with a pitch. Gunnar doubled. Mountcastle sac fly. Orioles up 5-0, and then we get a 2-hour and 18-minute rain delay.
When play resumed in the top of the 6th, Rico Garcia was on the mound for Sugano, and the first batter he faced was Julio Rodriguez, who went deep for a 2-run home run, scoring Josh Naylor, and that made it 5-2 Orioles.
Yeah, then we're at the top of the 9th. Dietrich Enns is in. He would be getting a save opportunity. It wasn't pretty, but he did get the job done. He had to face the pinch-hitting Cal Raleigh with 2 on, and the Mariners down by 3. So this looked like a recipe for the Mariners to pull this out. But Raleigh would walk to load the bases. Enns would hold them to a single run on a miscommunication between Gunnar and Holiday on a potential game-ending double play ball. Baltimore would hold on. 5-3, 2-game winning streak. Mariners lose 2 in a row after winning 8 straight. Signs of life.
If I'm a Mariners fan after this, I'm pretty disappointed. Any playoff team right now should not be losing a series to the Orioles.
Yeah, the Orioles are going to be scrappy these last 6 weeks, and it's a good bar for these playoff teams. You should not be losing to Baltimore, even though they're better than they were, even just 2 weeks ago with some of these call-ups and Trevor Rogers and Dean Kramer and even Suganu. I think Suganu, I gave him my 1st star. He became the 10th Japanese pitcher to win 10 games in a season. The rain took away what should have been a quality start. But Sugano is 3-0 with a 2.31 ERA in his last 3 starts. I wonder if the trade deadline had him stressed out.
He has been a lot better lately, and I don't know why. I mean, typically a 35-year-old will not get better as the season gets toward the end, just through sheer innings. But whatever it is, he definitely has turned a corner and looked good.
Yeah, he's fun again.
He's 10-5 on a garbage team. I know pitcher wins aren't that big of a deal, but like that's impressive when your team sucks.
Pitcher wins can tell a story. Yeah, he disappeared for like 2 or 3 months and he's back. They're going to ruin some people's. They're going to cost somebody a playoff spot if they're not careful.
I
The
mean, that's
opponent.
really all we have to root for now.
Yeah.
Besides, like, no big injuries, a couple of young guys, and spoiling somebody else's time. That's all there is to root for the Orioles.
And like getting Bradish up and back in the air and Tyler Wells and
Yeah. But again, all I care for them is don't hurt yourself again. I don't care if you give up 12 runs in 3 innings. Just don't get injured.
Just be ready for spring training.
Right.
Unlike Felix, probably.
Oh, God.
Second start of the grounds crew for getting the field playable after just a total torrential downpour. It rained like a mofo here, too.
It rained for a while before they called it. I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, probably just because it's Seattle and they're probably not coming back to the East Coast, especially to play like 3 innings.
True.
Yeah, this was the series finale. And then Westberg, he got hit by a pitch. He's my third star just for not getting injured when he got hit by a pitch because
he's been good lately.
Yeah. This took us to Houston. Brandon Young versus Framber Valdez, and this had all the recipes for a blowout game. Brandon Young's like 0-6, and Valdez is Valdez, and Kobe Mayo homered for the game's first run in the fourth. This was his 5th home run of the season. Orioles get a 1-0 lead.
We'll skip to the top of the 5th then with 1 out. Daniel Johnson and Jackson Holliday reached before a Jordan Westberg walk. Bases were loaded for Gunnar Henderson. He hit a sac fly to score Johnson. Holliday then scores on an error, so that scored 2, and the Orioles were up 3-0.
Yeah, they showed an interesting stat during this inning where Framber Valdez has a 5.32 ERA in the 5th inning of games this season.
That's very odd.
Yeah. The Orioles would finish off Valdez in the 7th when Westberg would score an RBI single from Gunnar. Sean Dubin would come in to finish the inning, but he'd get roughed up in the 8th when he allowed 3 runs on 3 hits, and that was our 7-0 final. Really nothing else to talk about with this game.
If you want to hear us look dumb, listen to the last episode where we were like, yeah, Brandon Young, disappointment.
Yeah, first star, clearly here. He flirted with what would have been the 25th perfect game in baseball history. There were reports he added a slider during the week, and I guess he was using this game. So maybe, like we were just saying, stuff to look forward to the rest of the season. Brandon Young building off whatever the hell this was.
Right. This is probably his peak, though. Like, let's be honest.
Right. You never know if these things are flukes or like a sign of things to come. But you hope it's a sign of things to come. He's a local kid. He was in the area. He had a bunch of family in town for the game. Maybe that had something to do with it. But yeah, he was magical. He probably could have had the no-hitter. It ended on a kind of a fluky play.
Yeah, it was a little dribbler by Orioles legend Ramon Urias that Young got off the mound quick and just didn't really take his time and threw it away. So even if they awarded that a hit, it was an error on him. I should say, even if they didn't award it a hit, it was still an error. So that killed the perfect game. But yeah, just completely out of nowhere. His numbers could not have been much worse before this game.
Yeah, it was a hit in my eyes as soon as I saw the play, as I got to hit. It was a tough play, bad throw. Urias is not a good runner. We know that from being Orioles fans. I gave Urias a 3rd star for breaking up the perfect game. It was good to see him in a baseball game on my TV again. He started at second base for the Astros. He said he was surprised he was traded. He had a quote where he said he thought the trade worked out for him because he's getting to play a little bit more. So I looked up his numbers in 11 games with Houston since the trade. He's 9 for 34 with 1 home run, 2 doubles. His OPS is nearly 30 points higher than it was with Baltimore, and we know he plays better the more he plays. So
Mm-hmm.
these trades are going to work out for these guys who were able to escape this dreadful season. Looks like he's going to be one of them.
What does it say about the Orioles when Arias is playing more for an actual good team than he was for the Orioles?
Yeah, they're playing him at second base too. They probably made the trade thinking he'd play third, then Correa fell into their lap.
Right.
And the second star I give to Kobe Mayo's cleats. This is Players Weekend. Um, honestly, the less I know about Major League Baseball players, the better. But Mayo is a Florida boy. I do know that. And he's a big Florida Panthers fan. So he had Florida Panthers logos on his cleats. That's fun. It's a good time to be a Panthers fan.
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess I should mention he did hit a home run. Technically, at the game-winning RBI.
True.
And every perfect game has, or no hitter has a crazy play that, saves the day. But in 2025 Orioles fashion, we just had Greg Allen and Daniel Johnson collide into each other in the warning track.
Couple of dudes they found off the street, like, hey, can you play outfield for the rest of the season?
And every Orioles starter had a hit. That's fun. And new Hall of Famer Billy Wagner had his number 13 retired in a pregame ceremony.
Yeah, this was, again, a surprising result when you look at the pitchers ahead of the game and you're in Houston against a good team. Your team is trash. Who would have thought this result was coming?
Guy working on a new pitch. Like sometimes that can be a disaster.
Right. Hits were 13-1. So
yeah, that was nuts. The game was fun to watch. It just flew by. You kind of didn't believe it was happening. Especially the 7th inning. It was like, oh, wait, what?
I couldn't even watch it. I had to follow along on social media because we have YouTube TV now and we don't get the Astros. The Astros are a local team in Dallas. We don't get the Astros or the Rangers TV channels anymore. Of course, they're blacked out on MLB TV because of that, so I couldn't even watch. I watched the Brewers instead. They're fun.
yeah. We got some brew notes later, probably. Yeah, that sucks. Blackouts. They got to fix that. There's reports this week that Major League Baseball is working on their contracts for their upcoming TV deals, so that'll be interesting to see how that. I'm sure the fans will not benefit from whatever deals are agreed to.
Yeah, it's just outdated logic. Wasn't the original argument decades ago, if they're on TV, the fans won't come, but we're a solid 4 hours from Houston. That being on TV does not affect whether I go to the game or
not. Yeah.
If anything, if I was able to watch the Astros and did not already have a team, I might be like, oh, I like the Astros. I want to drive to Houston and watch them.
Especially if you're a younger fan who the Astros are winning, for the last better part of a decade, you're just neglecting to build fans.
Right.
If you don't have cable in your house, you can't stumble on the Astros.
Mm-hmm.
So dumb. Saturday, we got an opener. Rico Garcia technically started for the Orioles. Cade Povich was the real pitcher. And we had Jason Alexander. I know nothing about this guy.
I saw he played, I don't remember where it was, but he made a start on the road recently, and they all just made Seinfeld references for his bio before the game.
Kevin Brown was having some fun with Seinfeld references.
The real Jason Alexander went to my alma mater. He went to BU.
Okay. What did I watch? I watched The Old Adventures of New Christine. I knew I did something Seinfeld related recently. He guest starred on like an episode or two.
Hmm.
He played Julia Louis Dreyfus's gynecologist. This guy is 32 years old. Wow.
Yeah, I mean he just doesn't have the name of a big prospect. You know, can you imagine the top prospect being named Jason Alexander? It just doesn't really roll off the tongue.
His brother is a player too, Scott Alexander. Yeah, he's 36. He played for the Giants this season, 2 games. He was on the Rockies. 19 games with the Rockies. 6.06 ERA.
Oh, so they got two brothers in the majors.
That's fun.
Yeah.
This guy, this Jason Alexander, I'm surprised he's not an Oriole. He's basically Dietrich Enns. 18 games, 11 starts in 2022 with the Brewers. Then he didn't reappear in the major leagues until 4 games with the Athletics, and now 7 games with the Astros in 2025. Where the hell's he been?
I don't know, but his numbers so far this season are good.
He's been in AAA. Sugarland. Oh, that's this season. He's with Worcester last year. He's in AA as a 30-year-old.
Wow.
That might have been a rehab start.
It's an interesting career path.
He did pretty good. He kept him in this game. Povich would walk the first batter. He'd face in the second. Cam Smith go to second on a wild pitch, and he'd score when Dubon singles. Astros up early.
Bottom 4, Cam Smith again, singled. Dubon and McCormick walked. Jacob Melton then singled to score Smith. Carlos Correa followed with his own single to score Dubon, and it was 3-0 Astros after 4.
Yeah, the first 5 batters of this inning went single, walk, walk, single, single. And Povich would get out of the jam. He'd get Altuve swinging and then a double play ball from Yanir Diaz to keep the Orioles in this thing. Then Dylan Carlson would homer for the second game in a row, and the Orioles were down 3-2.
Moving on to bottom 7, Cade Stroud on the mound with 1 out. Jose Altuve takes a 3-1 pitch deep to left that had to be reviewed, but it did hit above the home run line, we'll call it. I don't know what the technical name is. And that made it 4-2 Astros.
Carlson led off the 8th with a walk. Holiday would homer off of a lefty, so we're now tied at 4. And then we're tied all the way till the 12th inning. A lot happened in between here. But at the end of the game, Ramon Urias finished the job again. He would bring in Carlos Correa on a ball that Holiday would throw away. Westberg had the choice to either throw home or go for the double play. Clearly, the answer was to throw home. They would have nailed him. Just ill-advised and ballsy to go for that double play ball. It really wasn't Holiday's fault. It got thrown away. Urias probably would have beat it out anyway. Maybe Westberg knew Urias was slow, so he went for the double play, but it didn't work. Orioles possibly could have swept this series. Spoiler alert.
And was this the first game of Dylan Beavers call-up?
Yes. Yeah, I gave him the first star. This is his major league debut. He got his first hit. He gave the ball to his dad. He became the 16th different outfielder for the Orioles this season. That is a new club record. That is something rebuilding teams do, is they set club records for how many outfielders are used in a season.
Right.
Yeah, he came into the game with a 25-game on-base streak. That started when he was with the Tides. He extended it to 26 in this game. And he got Laureano's old number, 12.
Yeah, good for him. The Orioles, as soon as they're just completely garbage and I don't want to watch them anymore, they make a couple call-ups and I'm like, well, now do I have to watch them?
Yeah, these are fun call-ups. There's another one for the next game we're about to get to. I think Manzolino might be a listener to Bird Notice because the Orioles intentionally walked the leadoff man in all 3 extra innings.
I saw that. Now, no, you're right. That is what we were talking about.
Technically, though, one of the intentional walks, I think it was the second one, came after a wild pitch. So then they were trying to reset the double play. But the other ones were just this thing we've been talking about for like 2 or 3 years now. Why aren't teams doing this?
Yeah, if you don't score in the top half, there's no reason not to walk that first guy because one run beats you.
Yep. Oh, and Kobe Mayo made a great play where he flipped the ball to Alex Jackson, who had just entered the game because they pinch ran for Adley. Yeah, Kobe Mayo looks pretty good at first base. Way better than he did at third base. Which was a low bar, but this was a great play. Saved the game. Well, extended it
Temporarily.
Yeah. Then there was a huge missed opportunity for the Orioles in the ninth. They stranded Beavers on third when Dylan Carlson and Daniel Johnson each struck out. Then there was a few questionable base running issues in this game. Carlson got neutered off of third base after a triple when he was running on contact.
Yeah,
Holiday
that
hit the
was
ball
bad.
right back to the pitcher, and Carlson was at no man's land. And then Vasquez, who I didn't even know was still on the team, he got caught off third base on a play in the 11th on a line drive.
Yeah, it's not good when people don't realize you're even there until you get picked off.
Yeah, no idea. Like, we're pretty dialed in. No clue. I thought he was gone 2 weeks ago. I still don't know when he came back. But the Orioles were 0 for 14 with runners in scoring position in this game.
That's not going to win games.
It's amazing they even scored the 4 runs or whatever they did. 2 other stars. Cade Povich wasn't always pretty with some traffic, but he didn't allow a home run, which limited the damage, and he struck out 10.
Yeah, 10 Ks in 5 innings.
When he's rolling with those strikeouts, you want to believe.
18 swinging strikes. They said that was a career high or season high for him.
Yep, that's good. And then Dietrich Enns, I gave him the third start. He pitched 2 innings, didn't allow any hits. Not counting the 2 intentional walks, he struck out 3 of the 6 batters he faced. 21 strikes on 26 pitches.
Solid.
In a real pickle, Altuve stole third in the 10th with 1 out and a runner on first. And he was able to get out of it.
Still not sure what I see out of him long term, but he might be a guy who's gone by next season and we'll forget about him.
Yeah, or that would be a classic case of he's good down the stretch here, and then he goes to spring training and he either sucks there like the first month next season. Like, oh yeah, he was 35. They picked him off the scrap heap, and
right. It's like, yeah, he's actually not good. Now we're just realizing it.
Yeah. There's always a swing somewhere. But he looks great right now.
Yeah, I'd say pretty solid.
Sunday, that's today. Dean Kramer versus Christian Javier. This is Javier's second start since returning from Tommy John. He won his first start with 2 runs allowed in 5 innings against Boston. And plethora of roster moves before this game. Kaiser is back. He's activated from the injured list after he concussed himself. Daniel Johnson and Timo Ryan O'Hearn go to Norfolk. Eflin goes to the 60-day IL. I imagine Bautista will be joining him soon on the 60-day.
Right.
And someone named Samuel Basallo was added to the roster.
Yeah, the call-up I guess we've all been waiting for. Now that it's clear their season's gone.
Yep, they did it the day after they were first eligible, him and Dylan Beavers, so no funny business there.
We knew that was coming, like everybody did.
You just had to watch that weirdo outfield with Allen, Johnson, and Noda in it a couple times. Now we get Kaiser, Beavers, and Jeremiah Jackson. Jeremiah Jackson is fun. He's earning a spot for next season.
He has not been bad.
Yeah, yeah. You don't want to see him playing this much, but a pleasant delight because he could have totally embarrassed himself with this opportunity, like most guys do.
Right.
Because he's been playing a lot.
Yeah. And spoiler, he did well in this game. His average was up to 333 after this.
Yeah, there's no reason to go punch for punch here. The O's were powered by 4 runs in the 5th and 5 in the 8th. They blew out Houston 12-0, tied the third largest road shutout in team history.
Again, just a series where if I was an Astros fan, I'd be like, damn, the Orioles stink, and we just got beat decidedly in 2 out of 3 games and almost beaten in the third.
And they could have scored more here. Gunnar was robbed of a grand slam. Basallo was robbed of a 3-run homer by the same guy. Sanchez in right field, 2 great catches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was a fun one.
Yeah, Basallo got his first hit in, what was it, like the 8th inning? It was later in the game. A 2 RBI single.
He got hit by a pitch by Javier in his first at bat, and I wonder if he was trying to get him to back off the plate. Basallo's a big dude. He looks even bigger on TV than he does on person, and yeah, there's nowhere for him to hide. He's just hanging over the plate because he's so big.
Yeah, I'm excited for him. Still not totally clear on where he's going to play in the field long term, but if you have a bat, it'll play somewhere.
Yeah, he had a 960 something OPS with Norfolk. 21 years old. Just a fun guy to watch the rest of the season, that's for sure. Did you see some announcer, the Mets were playing someone, and there was an announcer questioning whether Juan Soto was really 26 years old? And I had never thought of that before. I could see him not being 26 years old.
I mean, it's hard to say, like, because that was obviously a thing a while back, but I don't know any better.
Right.
I have no reason to doubt it. Like, it's funny because it seems like local media in New York has been getting on Soto for not being like as ridiculously good as he was last year. But now they're saying like, oh, is he actually old? So they're like acknowledging that he's good and saying maybe he's just getting old. I don't know what is the point of that argument.
Yeah, hopefully we don't hear anything about Basallo being like 31 between now and next season. It was funny seeing his dad wearing the number 72 Basallo jersey. He's like, we got to get his dad a real jersey because Basallo was wearing Urias' number 29.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's cool that they had him there, and they had Young's parents in the stands. They kept showing during his game. I mean, but they're pretty close to Houston. That was great for them. It wasn't his first game.
Yeah, there's a lot going on this weekend. Usually Houston handles the Orioles pretty handedly.
Right.
And that was the opposite this year. Christian Javier, his velocity was down this game. He's removed after 3 innings. I think they said he had an illness or something, but I know if I see that from Bradish in his second start, I'd jump off a building.
Yeah, Javier's returning from a big injury, right? He hasn't pitched in a long time.
I'm pretty sure he had Tommy John. Could be wrong.
Yeah.
And 3 stars. The third star, Basallo, for the Major League debut. He reached base twice. Hit the ball hard. Dean Kramer, another gem. 3 hits over 7 innings. So he's been Trevor Rogers-like his last couple starts. And the number 1 star, the 9 through 2 hitters, Jeremiah Jackson Holiday and Jorge Westberg. They combined to go 9 for 14. They had 9 of the 14 hits, scored 8 of the 12 runs, and they also drove in 6 of 12. And then Westberg made a great play at third base. Gunnar made a really nice play at shortstop. Yeah, this was just a beatdown.
Just makes you wish these games mattered because it'd be something to get excited about.
Are they under 10 games of 500? I think they pulled within 9.
I think they're at 10 now. I think it's an even 10. Am I wrong?
if they were going to get to 70 earlier in the week.
Yeah, it's 57 and 67 right now.
They got the Red Sox coming up this week. I saw who the Astros upcoming matchups were against, and they're playing the Tigers. So I saw Jack Flaherty is 6-12 with a 4.76 ERA. All I'm gonna say is any Orioles fan who advocated for bringing him back, they need to take a loyalty test as if they were applying for a teaching position in Oklahoma.
Yeah. Yeah, we all saw that coming.
Yeah, that all we need is a just a shitty contract on top of all the other pitcher injuries. Like the one good thing about the Orioles situation is how flexible they are heading into the offseason.
Flexible, but are they willing to use it?
Right. Yeah, that's the question. But at least they are flexible. At least they have the ability to use it if they decide to.
It's one way to look at it.
Last episode, I wanted to ask you this because I saw a quote from Mike McDonald, the Dolphins coach.
Oh,
And
McDaniel?
yeah. Mike McDaniel. And I know the Dolphins have been kind of disappointing, and I know where the Sabres are, and I obviously know where the Orioles are. Like, which team has you the most frustrated? Which one do you have the most hope for? They're all kind of in the same boat. I know Tua is like the ultimate wild card, but he's also like disturbing for, an unperformance related reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I've said for years that my excitement amongst the three teams that I root for kind of rotates. Like one year I'll be like, oh, this team might be good, and then they suck, and like, oh, maybe this other team I like will be good, and then they suck, and it just goes around and around and around. So right now, the baseball season was clearly a failure. I don't have much faith for the hockey season, and I really don't have much faith for the football season either. So I really don't know. Like putting me on the spot, I couldn't tell you which team I'm most or least excited about because they're all just so mediocre.
Yeah. If I were you, I'd probably lean Orioles just because of the flexibility and the core. The Sabres have had to have just bitten you a few times at this point with
Oh, yeah.
the
I
amount
mean,
of talent they've been able to acquire and then just get nothing out of.
right. Well, it was funny. I saw a quote from Basallo about, I think it was after today's game, and said, "Yeah, we should be good for a long time. Like, there's a lot of good players here." And I was like, "How long have we been saying that about the Orioles?" I was like, "Basallo, you're just like one of us. You'll be disappointed unless it's you who digs us out of it."
I remember going off on one of our episodes. I don't know if it was 2023 or last year, but it bugs me when people say, they're not saying it now, obviously, that the Orioles are going to be good for 10 years. It's like, what? What are you talking about? That isn't how it works.
Right. Especially when everybody's so young. You don't know who's going to end up being good, who's going to flop, who's going to be just very average. Like, there's no way of knowing. But right now, it seems like they're just kind of
They're highly
stuck.
questionable. That's why I said last week I'm 99% out on Elias. I'm going to wait till the end of the season to see, where that last 1% goes, but I don't know. Games like today, they give you a delusional hope where you're like, hey, they might be able to have a fun September.
I still think that if Rubenstein said like, "I want you to spend money. Here's 500 million to give out on contracts," he would do it. But I think if Rubenstein says you could spend money, but we don't have to, and I trust you to build a good team without breaking the bank, I think Elias will just he won't. He'll try to maneuver his way and do a good roster by these fringe guys we've talked about so much, and most of them will suck and they won't get anywhere.
Yeah, it definitely seems like he wants to do it his way, as opposed to even just on a simple move like giving a pitcher a multi-year contract. The fact that no pitchers have a multi-year contract that's worse than the extensions. That there's been no extension for position players. Like there's no anchor to the rotation.
They had one for a year. The Brewers probably just knew better. They probably knew that Burns wanted to go out west, and they're like, well, shit, we might as well get something for him. And the Orioles were dumb enough to fall into that trap. Not that like getting him for a year was a bad thing, but they had zero plan B once he left.
There was some strain on the relationship between the Brewers and Burns too, so I'm sure that helped the Brewers decide to trade him. But yeah, that goes to what you were just saying with Elias not wanting to give out some of that money because this is widely reported, only offered Burns 4 years to the 6 years he got from the Diamondbacks. And even that would have backfired because they would have got like 2 years out of that deal or whatever. And then he would have been rehabbing for most of it. Like, even though the deal looks bad for the Diamondbacks now, those extra years, assuming he can come back healthy, are going to pay off in the long run.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it would have been, when did he hurt himself? Maybe like June?
Yeah.
So they would have had like 3 months of him, then missed the rest of the year, and then probably most, if not all of next year.
Right. And then, so the third year of the deal would have been I'm in this weird phase where I'm back, but I'm not my full self yet. And then his last year would have been his walk year.
Yeah, he does good and then he leaves. And then...
Yeah. So, yeah, they just, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting offseason. Did you have a player of the week?
Yeah, I have to go again with a pitcher. I know it's lame, but Dean Kramer made 2 starts this week. He threw 14 innings, allowed. Oh shoot, this doesn't include his most recent one. So I'm giving you false information, but he had 2 starts, allowed 1 earned run, and that's really good.
Yeah, I gave it to Brandon Young, but in some ways Kramer was more impressive than Brandon Young. Because he did it over 2 starts, and you never know how fluky these perfect game things are. But yeah, you come within 4 outs of history, you're going to get the player of the week. One thing I thought was interesting was Andy Koska mentioned that he had to scrap his write-up of Brandon Young's perfect game. So for anybody who was unaware or had never even considered it before, while the games are being played and unfolding, sports writers are writing up their stories for the games. And a lot of times, sports happens and they have to scrap their story and go in another direction. So Andy Koska was writing his story as if Brandon Young was going to pitch the first perfect game in Orioles history. So after that got ruined by Ramon Urias, he posted RIP my perfect game gamer. And this made me curious. So I jokingly responded to him, release the Young files. And I'm not sure if that motivated him to do it or not, but he did. He posted the brief snippet as if Brandon Young had pitched this perfect game, and it was pretty cool to read.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't see that he had posted that.
Yeah, it's on his Blue Sky somewhere, dated Saturday night, but
okay.
It was cool seeing this alternate reality as if Brandon Young had really pitched the perfect game. Some writers should just post that even the next day, maybe not to confuse people, like, hey, here's what didn't make the cut.
Right. I do have Kramer's numbers now. So he went 15 innings this week. He allowed 8 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 13 strikeouts, no home runs. He was good.
Yeah, he's real good. No mailbag. Brew notice. So you did get to see the Brewers. I saw they won 14 in a row.
Yep, they finally lost today. I did not watch that game. But yeah, they've just played highly entertaining baseball. I was watching Friday night. They were on Apple TV. They were down 8-1 to Cincinnati after the second inning, I want to say. And of course, because it's the Brewers, they came back and ended up winning. And that was a lot of fun. And then they also on Saturday won 6-5 in extra innings. They won on a pinch hit home run, a 3-run shot by what was his name, Monasterio, Andrew Monasterio, who I had never heard of. Just came in and launched one. So yeah, they're just fun. They're everything the Orioles aren't. It's like they get down and you think they're gonna come back and tie it. And they have a combo of good pitching, good defense, good base running, timely
Good
hits.
manager.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're who the Orioles are supposed to be. I wonder if we're the catalyst for this since we started covering the team so in depthly. They've gone on this winning streak.
Definitely. But I do like kind of that their streak got broken because I feel like the further it goes, the more pressure there is. And, losing 1 out of 15 is not a bad thing. Like, you can be like, all right, we're done with that. We can play baseball again.
Yeah, start another streak. I saw a local restaurant had to give away hamburgers because they reached 12 wins. I guess it's a promotion that goes back like decades.
I do not know the details of that. Did you read into that?
I saw it on, I believe, the USA Today. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh, here's an MLB article.
Maybe that's where I saw it.
The tradition goes all the way back to the 40s when George Webb himself started predicting that the Brewers, then a minor league team, would win 12 games in a row. Eventually, his restaurant started promising free hamburgers anytime Webb's prediction came true. It's only happened 3 times, 1987, 2018, and now. Chain announced that all of its Wisconsin locations will give away free burgers on Wednesday, August 20th from 2 to 6 p.m. Free burger vouchers will be distributed at all locations on Friday. So, yeah, I guess there's a restaurant called George Webb, which I've never heard of. And, yeah, free burgers.
Yeah. And then Mizorowski, you got to see DL Hall, right? Did Mizorowski get hurt, or was he an opener, or did he just get
No,
shelled?
he was just brutal on Friday night. He was getting absolutely titted, and then they brought in Hall, and he sucked. And that's when I was like, "Oh, geez, this win streak is toast." Because yeah, they were down 8-1 after 2 innings, and then they scored 5 in the third, 2 in the fourth. Like, I don't know. It's just fun.
Yeah, we've seen nothing like that from the Orioles this season, where they're down and out and come back. At
Right.
least that I can think of at the top of my head. Not down 8-1. They go down 8-1, the game's over every time.
After Mizorowski and Hall, they combined to throw the first 4 innings. The next 5 innings from the bullpen allowed no hits and no walks and struck out 9 guys. So, yeah, they're good.
Yeah. Brewers, get on board, people.
Right. I've been more interested in watching them than the Orioles lately. Like, I will sit down and be like, all right, let's put the Brewers on.
That was a pre-Dylan Beavers, Samuel Basallo world, though. They gonna be able to hang on to you.
I'd rather watch the Brewers, but like, it's one of those things where I can just go back and watch Basallo's at bats and not care about the rest of it. It's not like watching a basketball game. You're like, I want to see how this guy did. You have to go watch the whole thing. I can just go see how Basallo did and call it a night.
Media corner. You watch anything good?
Oh, you know what I watched is I watched Final Destination 4. Did I tell you a while back I watched the newest one with some friends and I started going through them all because I hadn't seen them?
Yeah, I think you said you saw the one in the theater with the bloodlines and you fell asleep.
No, that was 28 years later.
Oh,
But
okay.
we watched the Bloodlines one on a little friends trip we had like a month ago, and since then I've watched Final Destination and Final Destination 2 and 3 and 4. So I think I only have number 5 left. But I
When did the
watched 4
original
the
come
other night.
out?
I want to say like 2000-ish. It's been a while.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, I don't really do horror. I
It's not, I don't know. To me it's not really horror. It's just like hilariously overdone gore, you know?
I can do that, like Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, that's really what Final Destination is. There's not like a murderer and there's not like anything.
Yeah.
It's not like a ghost or anything. It's just all right, you see these little signs, like you'll see a screw fall out of something, and you're like, all right, I know some big shit's gonna happen.
Someone's gonna screw in the eye. Yeah, I can do like Zombieland, that kind of horror. But I can't do like Saw.
I have not seen Saw, but I don't think I would enjoy it. That sounds gross.
I
That's like
think.
gratuitous. Final
Yeah.
Destination is very quick. It's like, you know, Final Destination 4 starts out, they're at a NASCAR race, and there's a tire from a car just flies on the stands and just takes this chick's head off, like
Ugh.
right away. And then it's like, it's very quick, very short, but it's funny. It made me laugh because it's just absurd.
Yeah, I remember seeing that preview. Now that you mention it, of the NASCAR,
Yeah.
because I see a lot of previews. So I go to a lot of movies. I went to. Did I see? Oh, I went to the movie theater this weekend. I saw the 35th anniversary of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
Oh, no shit. The first
Yeah, it was
one?
fun. Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
From 1990.
I like that one. And number 2 was Secret of the Ooze, right?
Yeah, I'm tempted to watch it now.
I don't know if they're streaming. I feel like I've looked for them before.
I think it would be on Paramount Plus if it were, which I
Okay.
do not currently have.
Yeah, nor do I.
Um, I might get it though with football season.
Okay.
Um, I saw Kind of Pregnant, starring Amy Schumer and Will Forte. That was on Netflix. It's a Happy Madison movie. That was pretty funny.
Was it?
Yeah, I'll recommend that. It's a comedy.
You said Netflix?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't seen that.
And I finished season 2 of Tires just tonight.
What are your thoughts?
It's a really good show. It's
Yeah.
solid. Yeah. And I saw Cypress Hill on Wednesday night. That was cool. As shit. That was really cool.
How was it like compared to your expectations?
I guess it met them because it's a brand new venue here in Virginia Beach. It's called the Dome. It's down at the oceanfront, and it's so nice. And there's so much room there. It's not like a cramped club, where you're shoulder to shoulder. Like I thought the crowd might actually be kind of small, and then they took a picture from the stage at the end of the night of the crowd behind them, and the place looked full. But
Yeah.
while we were there, like we could move around, and people were walking around. There were like pathways in between people,
Uh-huh.
so that was nice. It was the second time we went there. The first time we went there earlier this summer, Winona Judd was there, but because her audience is 100 years old, they had to have seats set up for them. So this was
Right.
like, a show you would jump up and
Jump around? Did they do that
yeah.
song?
They did not, but they closed with that song.
Oh.
They covered it. Yeah. Yeah, it was great. I love
So
Cypress Hill.
I thought they did that song, but they didn't, but they still played it. That's kind of funny.
I was surprised at how many of the words I still remembered. Like I was able to rap along a little bit with them.
I don't like shows where it's so packed, even if it's GA. Like, I don't even want to go to the bathroom because I feel like I won't be able to get any space, you know? So it is nice to have a little room.
I was nervous about the crowd size because I know Cypress Hill doesn't tour very often. I know, I just thought it was going to be a huge crowd, and it really wasn't. And it was just a bunch of like 40-year-old men.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Yeah, once I got there, I was like, oh yeah, I should have known. Like, even the one rapper who opened for them had commented. He's like, I expected you guys to be younger. I was thinking, like, I did too. I thought this was gonna be a. I didn't realize it was gonna be like the Gen X crowd.
Yeah, I don't think there's many like Gen Zers listening to Cypress Hill these days.
Yeah, not at all. But yeah, they were great. I guess my next concert is Blink 182. I have tickets for them.
Nice.
I don't really have high. Like, I'm a fan of theirs. I've seen them before. I don't think I really have high hopes for that show though.
I've never seen them. I liked them a lot in like middle school when they were first. Not when it wasn't when their like first album. It was like their second album when they got big.
Yeah, I had a friend who like saw them at a Warp Tour before they broke big and bought one of their early albums, and we listened to the shit
Yeah.
out of it. And then when their second album came out, we were excited, and that was even before they hit it big on Enema of the State. But yeah, I don't know. I listened to a bunch of their stuff recently since I started doing the albums and knowing I was going to see them soon. And their last album, so their 2011 album and their last album, their two comeback albums is like, the full Mark, Tom, and Travis. Those two albums aren't as good as the two albums they did with Matt Skiba filling in for Tom. Those two albums are better than the original lineup comeback albums. That's why I don't think like if they play a lot of the new album at this show, like if half the show is the new album, I don't think it's going to be great.
They're old enough where they should just play the hits.
Yeah. If you have the hits, you got to play them.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. So that's it for this week. We kept it down to about an hour. Look at that.
Thanks to the O's for having not much to write home about.
Yep. So who we got this week? Anybody? Should we do Dong Notice? I guess we got time. We haven't done Dong Notice in a while.
Let's see how Dong Nose is going. See if your lead is bigger. Because you were ahead last time.
I got 190. You have 177.
Oh, wow, you're crushing me.
Yeah. This might be too big of a deficit to come back from.
It might be. Still trying to pull mine up.
How many did you hit this week?
He's like, Alvarez has been out like the whole year. Judge was out for a while. But them's the breaks.
You just got Mountcastle and Cowser back. I don't know how much Mountcastle's going to play, though. He might be the odd man out here.
Yeah. Oh, well. Maybe it'll get closer by the end.
Yeah, you hit 7 last week. I hit 6, 8, 10, 11. I do not have Tyler O'Neill or Kerstad. Yeah, so that'll be something to keep an eye on, 190 to 177.
Right. Yeah, so the Orioles this week have a weird schedule thing. So they just wrapped up in Houston. They go to Boston for 2 games. Then they go back home. They host Houston for 4, and then Boston for 4. So it's Houston, Boston, Houston, Boston.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Boston's looking good.
Yeah, they and the Orioles kind of took different directions about 2 months ago-ish. It's like the Red Sox got better and the Orioles got worse.
One team made roster moves, and the other team just waited till a certain date expired to call up guys and wait for injured guys to come back.
Yes.
And plug those holes with waiver claims.
And the Red Sox traded for Crochet in the offseason and immediately gave him a contract extension. They also signed Bregman. I think he has a player opt-out after this year.
Yeah, it sounds like he's going to exercise it, but it also sounds like he'll probably just end up right back there.
Yeah, I think from what I read is he'll just try to get a longer deal than he has now. That's why he would do that.
I saw Marcelo Meyer is out, though, for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I haven't paid much attention to the Red Sox. Has he been playing well? I know he was a highly rated prospect. He was a high draft pick. Let's see. He's worth 0.2 WAR this year in 44 games. He hasn't done anything special. He's also 22 years old.
All right. So yeah, we'll be back next week. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yep. Take care. Go Brewers.